Hey guys, Dunecat Gaming here, and turns out I'm going to have to re-record the episode I just recorded because turns out I didn't have it recording the game. So let's get to it. It's an ordinary school day like any other. Mornings are usually the worst, being surrounded by couples and friend groups walking to school together. Meanwhile, I've always walked to school alone. I always tell myself it's about time I meet some girls or something like that. But I have no motivation to join any clubs. I'm perfectly content just by getting by on the average while spending my free time on games and anime. There's always the anime club, but it's not like there would be any girls in it anyway. The school day is as ordinary as ever. It's over before I know it. After I pack up my things, I stare blankly at the wall, looking for an ounce of motivation. Clubs. There really aren't any that interest me. Besides, most of them would probably be way too demanding for me to want to deal with anyway. I guess I have no choice but to start with the anime club. Dunecat? Monica! Oh my goodness! I totally didn't expect to see you here. It's been a while, right? Yeah, since you erased my friend and put me into this new timeline. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah, it has. Monica smiles sweetly, evilness behind her eyes. We do know each other. Well, we rarely talked, but we were in the same class last year. Monica was probably the most popular girl in class. Smart, beautiful, sadistic, athletic. Basically completely out of my league. So having her smile at me so genuinely feels a little... What'd you come in here for anyways? Oh, I've been looking for supplies to use for my club. Do you know if there are any construction paper in here? Or markers? I guess you could check the closet. You're in the debate club, right? About that. I actually quit the debate club. Really? You quit? Yeah. To be honest, I can't stand all of the politics around the major clubs. It feels like nothing but arguing about the budget and the publicity and how to prepare for events. I'd much rather take something I personally enjoy and make something special out of it. In that case, what club have you decided to join? Actually, I'm starting a new one. Oh, why did that make me jump? A literature club. Literature. That sounds kind of dull and boring. How many members do you have so far? It's kind of embarrassing, but there are only 3 of us so far. Wait a fucking minute. It's really hard to find new members for something that sounds so boring. This is new. I literally just recorded this part. This is fucking new. Well, I can see that. But it's really not boring at all, you know. Literature can be anything. Reading, writing, poetry. I mean, one of my members keeps her manga collection in the club room. Wait, really? Yeah, it's funny, right? She always insists that manga is literature too. I mean, she's not wrong, I guess. And besides, a member's a member, right? Did Monica just say she? Hey, Dunecat. By any chance, are you still looking for a club to join? I mean, I guess so, but in that case, is there any chance you could do me a big favor? I won't ask you to join, but if you could at least visit my club, it would make me really happy. Please? Well, I guess I have no reason to refuse. Besides, how could I ever refuse someone like Monica? Because she's evil. Or just like this. No. Sure, I guess I could check it out. Ah, awesome. You're really sweet, Dunecat, you know that? It's nothing, really. Shall we go then? I'll look for the materials another time. You're more important. That sounds ominous. And thus, today marks the day I sold my soul to Monica and her irresistible smile. I dejectedly follow Monica across the school and upstairs, a section of the school I rarely visit. Monica, full of energy, and also that's because this place is full of ghosts, full of energy, swings open the classroom door. I'm back! We also have a new club member to sacrifice! I brought a guest with me. He's the sacrifice. Fucking... Why? A guest? Seriously? You brought a boy? Way to kill the atmosphere. Don't be mean, Natsuki. But anyway, welcome to the club, Dunecat. All words escape me in this situation. This club is full of incredibly cute girls. So, let me guess. You're Monica's boyfriend, right? What? No, I'm not. Natsuki, the girl with the sour attitude, whose name is apparently Natsuki, is one I don't recognize. Yeah, her name's Natsuki. We don't believe Monica, but however, we will believe Purple over here. Her small figure makes her look like a first year. Anyway, this is Natsuki, energetic as usual. And this is Yuri, the vice president. I remember Sayori being the vice president beforehand, then you murdered her. It's nice to meet you. Yuri, who's comparably more mature and timid, seems to have a hard time keeping up with someone like Natsuki. Yeah, it's nice to meet both of you. So, I ran into Dunecat in a classroom. Yeah, that's where students are. Stupid.
I think you decided to come check out the club.
Isn't that great? Wait, Monica! Didn't I tell you to let me know in advance before you brought anyone new? I was going to, well, you know. Sorry. I didn't forget that. I just happened to run into him. She kidnapped me. In that case, I should at least make some tea, right? Yes, that would be great. Why don't you come sit down, Dunecat? The girls have a few desks arranged to form a table. Yuri walks to the corner of the room and opens the closet. Meanwhile, Monica and Natsuki sit across from each other. Still feeling awkward, I take a seat next to Monica. So, I know you didn't plan on coming here, but we'll make you feel right at home, okay? As president of the Literature Club, it's my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone. I'm surprised there aren't more people in the club yet. It must be hard to start a new club. You could put it that way. Not many people are interested in putting out all the effort to start something brand new. Especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention like literature. You have to work hard to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile. But it makes school events like the festival that much more important. I'm confident that we can all really grow this club before we graduate. Right, Natsuki? Well, I guess. Natsuki reluctantly agrees. Such different girls, all interested in the same goal. Monica must have really worked hard just to find these two. Yuri returns to the table carrying a tea set. She carefully places a teacup in front of each of us before setting down the teapot in the middle. You keep a whole tea set in this classroom? Don't worry, the teacher gave us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book? Yeah, but this one's also not hot. It's also orange. I guess. Don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you. That's not... Insulted, Yuri looks away. I meant that, you know. I believe you. Well, tea and reading might not be a pastime for me, but I at least enjoy tea. I'm glad. Yuri faintly smiles to herself in relief. So, Dunecat, what kind of things do you like to read? Well, considering how little I've read these past few years, I don't really have a good way of answering that. Manga? I mutter quietly under my breath, half joking. Natsuki's head suddenly perks up. It looks like she wants to say something, but she keeps quiet. Not much for reader, I guess. Well, that can change. What am I saying? I spoke without thinking after seeing Yuri's sad smile. Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Well, let's see. Yuri traces the rim of her teacup with her finger. My favorite are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me. And telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive. Yuri goes on, clearly passionate about her reading. She seems so reserved and timid since the moment I walked in, but it's obvious by the way her eyes light up that she finds her comfort in the world of books, not people. But, you know, I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you for a loop? Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately. I read horror once. I read a horror book once. Yeah, it was the Necronomicon. Yeah, I had to burn that right afterwards. I desperately grasp something I can relate to at a minimal level. At this rate, Yuri might as well be having a conversation with a rock. I'd expect that from you, Yuri. It suits your personality. Oh, is that so? Really, if a story makes me think, or takes me to another world, then I really can't put it down. Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment. I hate horror. Oh? Why's that? Well, Natsuki's eyes start over to me for a split second. Never mind. That's right, you usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? What? What gives you that idea? You left a piece of scrap paper behind last club meeting. It looked like you were working on a poem called Fucking Die, Bitch. Don't say it out loud! And give that to me! Fine. Natsuki, you write your own poems? Well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care? I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime? No! Natsuki averts her eyes. You wouldn't like them. Not very confident writer yet. I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities and showing them the deepest reaches of your heart. Do you have writing experience too, Yuri? Maybe if you shared some of your work, you could set an example to help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers. I guess the same for Yuri. We all sit in silence for a moment. Hey, I just got an idea. How about this? Question mark? Natsuki and Yuri look quizzically at Monika. let's all go home and write a poem of our own. Then, next time we meet, we'll all share them with each other. That way, everyone is even. I mean, I thought it was a good idea. Well, I think you're right, Monica. We should probably start finding activities for all of us to participate in together. I just have to take on responsibility of vice president after all. I need to do my best to nurture the club as well as its members. Besides, now that we have a new member, it seems like a good step for us to take. Do you agree as well, Dunecat?
Hold on, there's still one slight tiny problem.
What's that?
Now that we've reached the most important topic, I bluntly come forth with what's been on my mind. I never said I would join this club. Monica may have been to come stop by, but I never made any decision. I still have other clubs to look at, and I lose my train of thought. All these girls stare back at me with dejected eyes. Monica looks sad. Natsuki looks kind of irritated, but Yuri just looks like she's about to go blow some bubbles.
But I'm sorry, I thought. The girls exchange glances before Monica turns back to me. I guess I need to tell you the truth, Dunecat. The thing is, we don't have enough members yet to form an official club. We need 4. And I've been trying really, really hard to find new members. And if we don't find one more before the festival, I'm defenseless against these girls. How am I supposed to make a clear-headed decision when it's like this? I would feel terrible for letting them down in the situation. But I'm also not part of the club. But also beautiful girls. And besides, the club itself is pretty relaxed. So if writing poems is the price I need to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls. Right. Okay, I've decided then. I'll join the literature club. One by one, the girls' eyes light up. They're both breathing like the exact same time. Oh my goodness, really? Do you really mean that, Dunecat?
Yeah. Why I said it. It could be fun, right?
You really did scare me for a moment. I mean, if you really just left after all this, I would be super pissed. Dunecat, I'm so happy. We can become an official club now. Thank you so much for this. You're really amazing. I'll do everything I can to give you a great time, okay?
Thanks, I guess.
Okay, everyone. I think with that, we can officially end today's club on a good note. Everyone remember tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring to the next meeting, so we can all share.
Monica looks over me once more.
Dunecat, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself.
Yeah. Can I really impress the class star Monica with my mediocre writing skills? I already feel the anxiety welling up inside of me. Meanwhile, the girls continue to chit-chat as Yuri cleans up the tea set. I guess I'll be on my way then.
Okay, I'll see you tomorrow then. I can't wait. With that, I depart the club room and make my way home. The whole way, my mind wanders back and forth between the 3 girls. Natsuki, Yuri, and of course, Monica. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in a literature club?
Perhaps I'll have a chance to grow closer to one of these girls. Alright. I just need to make the most of my circumstances, and I'm sure good fortune will find me. And I guess that starts with writing a poem tonight. You have unlocked a special poem. Would you like to read it? Oh no! Well, that's definitely new! The special poem, so you're hanging yourself with special thoughts, special thoughts, special thoughts. Well, that's definitely new. Didn't get that last time. Now it's time to write a poem. Anime, warm, sparkle, whirlwind, melody, cry, sticky. Ooh, stilky family. Wait a minute, no. Lollipop kitty. Wait a minute. Sunset holiday. That sounds good. Happiness bunny. Love. Playground. Doki Doki. Fuck, there's no literature. A Doki Doki heaven sent. Papa. Puppy. Hi again, Dunecat. Glad to see you didn't run away on us. Nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but I at least keep my word. I know the special poem you left in my room last night, Monica. Well, I'm back to the Literature Club. I was the last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. Slenderman! Sorry, Slenderman's daughter. Thanks for keeping your promise, Dunecat. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you. Making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it? Now, it's not that I'm not accustomed to it. I actually read good books. A lot of good books. Like V for Villain. If you haven't read it, you definitely should. It's a really good book. Glitch in the Matrix. Oh, come on. He doesn't deserve any slack. You already had to be dragged here by Monica. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what. But if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it. Monica, you're down in front. You're in front of the bar, Monica. Down in front. Fine. Natsuki, you certainly have a big mouth for someone who keeps your manga collection in the club room. Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monica and manga. Manga is literature! Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back in her seat. I'm sorry, Dunecat. We'll make sure to put your comfort first, okay? Yuri shoots Natsuki with a disappointed glance. Wasn't that manga? Nope. Now I'm doing it. Wasn't it Monica's fault though? Why are you disappointed in Natsuki? Anyway. Now that you're in the club and all, perhaps you might have interest in picking up a book to read. God damn, the room's zooming in. Well, I can't really say no. Like you said, I'm in the club now. So it only feels right for me to do something like that if you ask. Wait, I didn't mean it like that. If you don't want to, then forget I said anything, I guess. No. Nope. Bad Yuri. That's not what I said at all. I want to try and be part of this club. So even if I don't read often, I'd be happy to pick up a book if you wanted me to. Are you sure? I just felt like well, as vice president and all, that I should help you get started on something you might like. Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. It's the Necronomicon 2.0. This one's burn-proof. Fuck! I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention, even if you don't usually read. And we could, you know, discuss it, if you want it. This is... How is this girl accidentally being cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like, despite me not reading much. Sure, it's the Necronomicon 2.0. I burned my last one because it was, you know, evil reincarnate. But hey, it's the thought that counts. I'll just lock this in a safe and bury it under the fucking mountains. Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. I'm not gonna read it. I enthusiastically take the book. Phew. Well, you can read at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Now that everyone's settled in, I expect Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club. But that doesn't seem to be the case. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. I hear Natsuki utter an exasperated sigh from within the closet. She seems to be annoyed by something. I approach her in case she needs a hand. You looking for something in there? Fucking Monica! She never put my stuff back in the right spot. What's the point in keeping your collection organized if someone's just gonna mess it up? Natsuki slides a bunch of stacked books and boxes across the shelf. Manga. You read manga, right? Sometimes? Manga is one of those things you can't admit you're into until you figure out where the other person stands. Yes, you can, and if they don't like it, well then they can just go away because, you know, don't need them telling you that what you're reading is bad. How'd you know anyway? Is it the My Hero Academia manga I have in my backpack every day? I knew that would be a dead giveaway. I heard you bring it up at some point. Right, that's obviously the reason why. Besides, it's kind of written on your face. Well, what the fuck's that supposed to mean? Well, what the fuck did you say to me? I see. There's a lone volume amidst a stack of various books on the side of one of the shelves. Curious, I pull it out of the stack. There it is! Natsuki snatches it out of my hand, then turns to a box of manga and slips the volume right in the middle of the rest. Ah, much better. Seeing a box set with one book missing is probably the most irritating sight in the world. I know that feeling. I get a closer look at the box that she's admiring. Parfait Girls. This series I've never heard of in my life. Okay, well, it's like Food Wars, but with less clothes explosion. That probably means it's way out of my demographic, or it's simply terrible. Nothing is terrible unless it's bad. If you're gonna judge, you can go do it through the glass in the door. She points towards the classroom door. Hey, I wasn't judging anything. I didn't even say anything. It was the tone of your voice. But I'll tell you one thing, Dunecat. Consider this a lesson. Don't judge a book. In fact, okay, I will never judge a book. Natsuki pulls out the first volume of Parfait Girls from the box. I'm gonna show you exactly why. She shoves the book into my hand. I stare at the cover. It features for a girl in colorful attire, striking, animated, feminine poses, JoJo's female adventures. It's exceedingly moist.
Don't just stand there.
Ooh-ah! Natsuki grabs my arm and pulls me out of the closet. She then takes a seat against the wall beneath the windowsill. She pats the ground next to her, signaling me to sit there. Wouldn't chairs be more comfortable? I take my seat.
Chairs wouldn't work. We can't breathe at the same time like that.
Why's that? I guess it's easier to be close together like this.
Don't just say that. You'll make me feel weird about it.
Natsuki crosses her arm and scooches an inch away. Sorry. I didn't expect to be sitting this close to her either. Not that I can say it's particularly a bad thing. I open the book. It's only a few seconds before Natsuki once again inches closer, reclaiming the additional space. Well, she hopes I won't notice. I can feel her peering over my shoulder, much more eager to begin reading than I am.
Wow! It's been a long time since I've read the beginning.
You don't go back and flip through older volumes every now and then?
Not really. Maybe sometimes after I've already finished the series. Hey, are you paying attention?
Of course I am. I'm the one reading. Hilarious. I am, but nothing's really happened yet, so I can talk at the same time. It looks like it's about a bunch of friends in high school. Food wars! But less explosive clothing. Typical slice of life affair. I kind of grew out of these since it's rare for the writing to be entertaining enough to make up for the lack of plot. Are you sure this isn't boring for you?
It's not.
Even though you're just watching me read?
Well, I'm fine with that.
If you say so. I guess it's fun sharing something you like with someone else. I always get excited when I convince any of my friends to pick up a series I enjoy. If I had any! My only friend was killed by Monica. You know Monica? And then she sent me a note of how she died. Evil. You know what I mean?
Question mark?
You don't.
That's not... Well, I wouldn't really know.
What do you mean? Don't you share your manga with your friends?
Could you not rub it in?
I just want to give her a hug.
Jeez.
Sorry.
I could get any of my friends to read this.
They just think manga's for kids. Get new friends.
I can't even bring it up without them being like, you still haven't grown out of that yet? Makes me want to punch them in the face.
Do it. I will come with you. I know those kinds of people. Mean people, that's what they are. Honestly, it takes a lot of effort to find friends who don't judge. Much less friends who are also into it. I'm already kind of a loser, so I guess I gravitate towards other losers over time. But it's probably harder for someone like you. Yeah, see, because I'm here on the loser scale, and you're right above me because you're also a cute anime girl that reads manga. Technically, that's not a loser, but I'm like down here.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Wait, what the fuck did you say to me? Wait, which part? What the fuck did you say to me?
I mean, I feel like I can't even keep it in my own room. My dad would beat the shit out of me if he found this. He would grab my head and just keep bashing against the wall until I stopped moving.
You know, that's something we would call abuse of the highest degree, and he should be locked up or beaten for it. At least it's safe here. At least it's safe here in the club room. Except Monica's kind of a jerk about it. I can't win, can I? Oh, come here. Aw, it's okay, Natsuki. Well, it paid off in the end, didn't it? I mean, here I am, reading it. Well, it's not like that solves any of my problems. Here's something to solve your problem, okay? Be my friend, leave your manga at my house, come to my house to read it. Boom, just solved your problem. You're welcome. Maybe. But at least you're enjoying yourself, right? So... Jeez, that's enough. Are you gonna keep reading or what? Yeah. I flipped the page. Time passes. Natsuki is strangely quiet now. I glance over at her. It looks like she started to fall asleep. Aww. Hey, Natsuki. Yeah? Suddenly, Natsuki collapses straight into me. Hey! Black lettering, and also void eyes, void mouth. Ah, just more black lettering. Oh no, she's suffering from void syndrome. Oh, jeez. Natsuki, are you okay? Here. Monica reaches into her bag and pulls out some kind of protein bar. She throws it in Natsuki's direction. Natsuki's eyes suddenly light up. She snatches the bar from the floor and immediately tears the wrapper open. Have a Snickers. You're not you when you're hungry. I told you not to give... She doesn't even finish her sentence before stuffing it in her mouth. Don't worry, Dunecat. She's fine. It just happens every now and then. You mean it is a normal occurrence for Natsuki to have void eyes and a void mouth that just goes right into the darkest parts of the universe? That's why I always keep a snack for her in my bag. Snickers. Anyway, why don't we all share our poems now? First. I told Natsuki I was interested in her poems yesterday. It's probably only fair if I shared mine with her first. Okay. Well, let's start with the things I don't like. First of all, Natsuki rereads my poem. Never mind, I don't feel like giving you my opinion. Then what's the point of sharing in the first place? I wrote this when I could have been doing other things, like watching anime, reading manga, sending my friends off friends to see what they would message back, you know, all these other important things I could have been doing. In fact, I remember how I said I wanted to read your poems. That's what I had in mind when writing this. I wanted to help you feel comfortable enough to share yours, like Monica said. Well, I would be more comfortable sharing my poems if yours was really bad. You were supposed to show me some dumb poem and make me go, ha! Well, it's not that great, but let me show you what real literature looks like. And you went and ruined it. I hope you're happy. So in other words, you liked it. Irk. Natsuki's retort gets caught in her throat. Irk. You're so... You don't understand anything, do you? I already told you that. You don't have to go announcing it to the world like you're all self-important. Pretty sure you never actually said that. I said mostly to myself. Natsuki must really hate me or something. I can't figure out if it's a win or a loss that she liked my poem. In any case, you still need to show me yours, right? Grr. Fine, I guess. Only because Monica will make me if I don't. Eagles can fly. Monkeys can climb. Crickets can leap. Horses can race. Owls can seek. Cheetahs can run. Eagles can fly. People can fly, but that's about it. Boo doo 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 doo. Yeah? I told you weren't gonna like it. I like it. What? Just be honest. I am. Why are you so convinced that I won't like it? Is it because you're being abused at home? Not if you're being abused at home. I knew it. Well, because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff. So people don't even get my writing seriously. But isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves? Your writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid. Yes, exactly. I like when it's easy to read, but hits you hard. Like in this poem. Seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening. So I decided to write about it. Yeah, I understand. But the other nice thing about simple writing is that it puts more weight into the wordplay. Like, I set up for a rhyme at the end that made it fall flat on purpose. Skratata, a baseball bat, ritata. Now we're gonna go with yawa, wah, 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 woo, woo, wee, wee. See, I made that fall flat on purpose as well. It helps bring out the feeling in the last line. So you did. I guess more went into it than I realized. That's what it means to be a pro. I'm glad you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you? Yeah, I guess not. I decided to humor her with that last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is, but if Natsuki's feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her. Who should I share my poem with next? Well, not the, murderer of your best friend, so, Yuri. Yuri stares at the poem. A minute passes, more than enough time for her to finish reading. Sorry. I forgot to start speaking. It's fine, don't force yourself. I'm not. I shouldn't put my thoughts into words. Hold on. Okay. This is your first time writing a poem, right? Yeah? Why do you ask? I'm just making sure. I guess that it might be after reading it through. Ah, so it's that bad. I understand. No! Did I just raise my voice? I'm sorry. Yuri buries her face in her hands. I can't help but notice that it's been several minutes and we haven't really gotten anywhere. It might take Yuri a while to get used to a new place. A new person. It's fine, I didn't really notice. What were you saying? Right, it's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers. And having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing as I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick writing styles separate from the topic matter, and they form fit the two together. The end result is both the style and the expressive are weakened. Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone and she sounds like an expert. Of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. There are so many different skills and techniques that go into writing, even a single poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example, and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback.
Natsuki can be a bit biased, though.
Biased? How?
Uh, um, well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry.
It's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri is apologizing to herself, to me, or to Natsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now?
Please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it.
Yuri smiles sternly, as if it's a rare opportunity for her, which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be the literature club?
Ghost under the light. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow. Bathing, it must be this one, the last remaining street light to have withstood the test of time. The last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe, calm, breathing air of the present, but living in the past. The light flickers, I flicker back, and then I explode because of the nanite bomb in my chest. I'm sorry, I have such terrible handwriting.
Better than mine. What? I wasn't thinking that at all.
Would it take you a long time to read?
Well, I just don't read script very often.
I actually think your handwriting's pretty. That's a relief.
Also, I like the poem. Even though it's short, it was really descriptive.
It wasn't too short. I usually write longer poems.
Not at all.
I'm really glad you liked it. I'll be honest. Since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose.
Are you into ghosts, Yuri? Because I know this classroom is pretty haunted at this point. With all the murders.
Actually, the story isn't about ghosts at all, Dunecat. You stupid boy.
Really? I must have totally missed that point.
Well, I suppose you did only glance over it. After all. But remember that poets often express their own thoughts and feelings and expressions in their word. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost, lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past, and soon to be left with nothing.
That's a lot more solemn putting it in that way. I haven't even thought of it like that. That's impressive.
It's nothing, really. Well, it makes me happy that you think that. Just remember that it won't be long before you pick up on these things too.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I guess I'll have to keep trying. I'm counting on you. Who's shooting my poem next? The murderer.
Hi, Dunecat. Having a good time so far?
Yeah.
Good. Glad to hear.
What'd you do with Sayori?
By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better,
Don't kill your club members. That's Club 101.
I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay?
Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course, I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled.
Anyway, want to share your poem with me?
It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to.
Don't worry, Dunecat. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know. But it's that sort of barrier that we'll learn to get past. Soon.
Yeah, that's right. I hand Monica my poem.
I like it, Dunecat.
Really?
It's a lot cuter than I expected.
Oh, jeez.
No. It kind of makes me think of something Natsuki would write. And she's a good writer, too. So it takes as a compliment.
If you say so.
Yup. If you're interested in Natsuki, then always keep a snack on you.
Snickers. You're not you when you're hungry.
She'll cling to you like a puppy. Natsuki's dad doesn't give her lunch money, or leave her any food in the house, so she's in a fussy mood pretty often. But sometimes she just loses all her strength and shuts down.
It sounds like her dad needs to be fucking arrested and beaten up multiple times in a row. But that's just my opinion.
Like earlier. This is just a guess, but I think she is so small because her malnutrition is interfering with adolescent growth.
And you're giving her just a candy bar? Bring a fucking sandwich for her, my guy. Bring a fucking salad. Bring a whole tray of brownies.
But hey, some guys are into petite girls too, you know. Sorry, just trying to look on the bright side.
Yeah, look, just trying to look at the bright side of your friend being beaten and starved by her father. Yeah, real fantastic, Monica. You.
Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good.
You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to be not very good.
Oh, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know.
I see. Well, let's read it then.
Hole in a wall. But he wasn't looking at me. Confused, I frantically glanced at my surroundings. But my burned eyes can no longer see color. Are there others in this room? Are they talking? Or are they simply poems on flat sheets of paper? The sound of frantic scrolling plays tricks on my ears. The room begins to crinkle, closing in on me. The air I breathe dissipates before it reaches my lungs. I panic. There must be a way out. It's right there. He's right there.
So Monica, that was a continuation of your last poem.
Swallowing my fears, I brandish my pen. So, what do you think?
It's very free-form, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback.
It's okay. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful.
What was the inspiration behind this one?
Well, I'm not sure if you know how to put it. I guess you could say I just had a recent epiphany recently.
Yeah, you killed my best friend and then trapped me in this alternate universe which never existed. I know your game, Monica.
It's been influencing my poems a bit.
An epiphany.
Yeah, something like that. You know, murder does it. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that, because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes, when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on the paper and tidy it up later. Another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll get a big, dark puddle of ink. So just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for the day. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Phew. I guess that's everyone. I glanced around the room. That was a little more stressful than I anticipated. It's as if everyone is judging me for my mediocrity writing abilities. Even if they're just being nice, there's no way my poems can stand up to theirs. This is a literature club after all. I sigh. I guess that's what I ended up getting myself into. Across the room, Monica is writing something in her notebook. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. They gingerly exchange sheets of paper sharing their respective poems. As they read in canon, I watch each of their expressions change. Natsuki's eyebrows furrow in frustration. Meanwhile, Yuri smiles sadly. What's with this language? Did you say something? No, it's nothing. Natsuki dismissively returns the poem to the desk and with one hand. I guess you could say it's fancy. Thanks. Yours is cute. Cute? Did you completely miss the symbolism or something? It's clearly about the feeling of giving up. How can that be cute? I know that. I just meant the language, I guess. I was trying to say something nice. You mean you have to try that hard to come up with something nice to say? Thanks, but it really didn't come out nice at all. Well, I do have a couple suggestions. If I was looking for suggestions, I would have asked someone who actually liked it. Which people did, by the way. Monica liked it, and Dunecat liked it too. 50% of the club liked it. So based on that, I'll gladly give you some suggestions of my own. First of all, excuse me. I appreciate the offer, but I've spent a long time establishing my writing style. I don't expect it to change anytime soon, unless of course I come across something particularly inspiring, which I haven't yet. And Dunecat liked my poem too, you know. He even told me he was impressed by it. Natsuki suddenly stands up. Oh, I didn't realize you were so invested in trying to impress our new member, Yuri. That's not what I meant. You're just... Yuri stands as well. Maybe you're just jealous that Dunecat appreciates my advice more than he appreciates yours. Huh? And how do you know he didn't appreciate my advice more? Are you that full of yourself? No. If I was full of myself, I would deliberately go out of my way to make everything too overly cutesy. Well, you know what? I wasn't the one whose boobs magically grew a size bigger as soon as Dunecat started showing up. Natsuki! Natsuki, that's a little... This doesn't involve you. Taking out your own insecurities on others like that? You really act as young as you look, Natsuki. Me? Look who's talking, you wanna be edgy bitch? Edgy? Sorry that my lifestyle is too much for someone of your mental age to comprehend. See? Just saying that proves my point. Most people learn to get over themselves after they graduate middle school, you know. If you want to prove something, you stop harassing others with your sickening attitude. Do you think you can counterbalance your toxic personalities by dressing and acting cute? The only cute thing about you is how hard you try. Whoa! Let's be careful, or you might cut yourself on that edge, Yuri. Oh, my bad. You already do, don't you? Did you just accuse me of cutting myself? What the fuck is wrong with your head? Yeah, go on. Let Dunecat hear everything you really think. I'm sure he'll be head over heels for you after this. Suddenly Yuri turns around, as if she just noticed I was standing there. Dunecat, she's just trying to make you look bad. That's not true. She started it. You fucking... Oh, fuck, keep picking, someone will happen eventually. Ah! King Monica! Hi, how are ya? Standing in front of everything like a ghost. Hey, Dunecat, why don't we step outside for a bit? Sorry about that. They really shouldn't have tried to get you involved. It's probably better for us to stay out of this. We'll go back inside once they're done yelling. Some person I am, right? I can't even confront my own club members properly. I just wish I was able to be a little more assertive sometimes. But I never have it in me to put my foot down against others. You understand, right? Anyway, if this makes you want to spend less time with others, then that's fine. I'd be happy to spend time with you instead. Suddenly, Natsuki runs out of the classroom. Natsuki, you're crying! Why? What the did Yuri do to you? She quickly runs away. Oh dear. Well, it looks like they're done. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. Yuri is rocking back and forth in her desk with her palms in her forehead. Yuri? I didn't mean it. I believe you. I have no idea what Yuri might have said to Natsuki. Or did you stab her? I know you did it. Please don't hate me. Please. I'm not like this. There's something wrong with me today. It's fine, Yuri. We know you didn't mean it. Besides, I'm sure Natsuki will forget everything by tomorrow. Completely. Anyway, the meeting is over. So you can go home now if you want. Yuri looks at me like she wants to say something, but she keeps glancing at Monica. You can go first, Monica. I'd like to stay a little bit longer. I'm the president, so I should be the last one out. Sounds like you're putting your foot down now, Monica. I'll wait for you to be done. Well, I'm vice president, so please let me take responsibility today. It kind of sounds like you don't want me around for something, Yuri. It's not like that. It's not that. I didn't get much of a chance to discuss my book with Dunecat. It would just be embarrassing with you listening. I guess I don't have a choice, do I? Let's wrap it up. I'm sorry for causing trouble. It's not that much trouble. And that is where we're gonna end the episode of Doki Doki Literature Club. And as always, stay cool, cats.